Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road, and you're ready to go if you want to. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast, special festival edition. Today we're with Brian Richards, and he is with Mountain Town Music. They have a number of events throughout the year. Their big highlight is God, I can't even read my freaking writing now. You got a Village concert series. What's the first part of that?
Canyons
Village. I love
Yes,
my
sir.
handwriting. Absolutely. Brian, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up? Talk a little bit about your family and your career.
I actually grew up in Rochester, New York.
Wow.
New York, yes, sir. Went to college at Ithaca College, transferred to Geneseo, worked at a record shop in Geneseo, New York for 3 years, kind of supported myself through college. And then I moved to Steamboat Springs, Colorado, worked at a record store in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And then I started my own record store here in Park City, Utah in 1997.
You just kept migrating west. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Okay, well, let's jump into the Canyons Village Music Festival. Let's talk about that series first, and then let's hit on some other things as well. So 3 questions. Well, first of all, let's talk about the when and the where of Canyons Village Summer Conference Series.
Yeah. So Canyons Village is part of Park City Mountain, which is the ski resort here in Park City. And this obviously the ski industry is a huge big deal here in Park City, right? And it's really what draws people in. But the summer activations and the activities have really grown here over the course of the last 5 or 6 years as people are starting to move here on a full-time basis. And so the Canyons Village uses the free concert series as activations for people that are coming to stay here for, let's call it, the weekend or a week. And so it's really cool. They're free. It's I think we do anywhere between 7 to 10 shows on Thursdays throughout the summer. In addition, there's a sort of a July 4th festival that's called Forum Fest, which again is a free festival, free 3-day long festival that happens over the course of, depending on when July 4th falls. I think this year it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. All right. So 3 questions that help our listeners kind of fully encompass what's going on there. Number 1, what does it look like? So describe the environment. Do they need to bring their own seating? Is seating provided? And then what does it smell like? Is there food? What smells are in the air?
Yeah. I love that.
Foods are always there.
It smells like, crisp mountain air and grass, with some ambiance of food kind of in the ether, really. So basically it's an open air village, open air forum. The backdrop is actually the Grand Summit Hotel and the mountains. So the stage the back of the stage is the hotel. And if you kind of look over the top of the stage, you have the vista of the mountains in the background. You're surrounded by chairlifts. There's a cabriolet that brings you up from the parking lot. There's the gondola, which actually takes you from the base there up to the top of the ski hill. And then there's the umbrella bar where you can buy drinks. There's satellite bars. There's generally food trucks, and there's also restaurants that you can eat at. But people generally bring their own blankets, their chairs. There's not seating. You can bring in your own picnics, meaning you can bring your own food in, but you cannot bring your own alcohol.
Okay.
And generally speaking, it's a super family-friendly environment. You have, folks sitting on blankets with their friends, with their neighbors, while their kids kind of run around. And, so I like to say that the music is the background to the social experience. So you have some people that are sitting there kind of chatting with their friends and their families and kind of sipping wine and, maybe eating out of the picnic basket, while others might be up there dancing and actually enjoying the music.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Meanwhile, people that are just kind of staying there that don't actually know that this are happening are just kind of meandering through the village, kind of soaking it all in,
That's fantastic. That's awesome. Awesome. How did you get involved in this and talk about your passion for this? Obviously, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of volunteer time. What drives that for you?
I love this community. I've been involved with this in this community in one capacity or another over the course of the last 23 or 24 years since I moved here. I love it so much, man. I've raised kids here. I've been married here. I've kind of ingratiated myself within this community. And so as my CD shop was, as that was sort of fading out, meaning, less people were buying CDs, people were buying records. I tried to turn it into a head shop, which I didn't really necessarily love. That wasn't my passion. And so when I had the opportunity to take over this organization, which I was a board member of, and I really believed in it. When the opportunity presented itself to take over this organization, I felt like that was the perfect person. It's a long story. There was a person that was involved in it that between myself and the original person that kind of put it into bankruptcy.
Right.
I took it over and sort of had to resuscitate it. And I created a different business model where we worked with developing communities because Park City was growing at the time. So we worked with all these developments to say, hey man, what would be really cool in your new development that you're building? A stage and free music, because nothing brings people together like free music. And so we started putting together and buying most of the gear that it would take to put on free concert series. So we made it accessible and affordable for developments to put on free music, meaning if they didn't have the rental cost, or we could make the rental cost affordable, then they could actually put on these free concert series. So we started to really put on these free concerts in different communities throughout Park City, to where there's free music 6 to 7 nights during the summer in various parts of Summit County. So I like to say that Park City in the summertime is the music capital of the world. There's more free music in Park City for 90 days than there are even in places like Austin, Texas.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Yep. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Talk about a couple of the other events through the year that you guys highlight.
We do this really cool concert series in Peoria called the Wooden Shoe Park Concert Series. It's at this really beautiful rodeo grounds in Peoria, Utah, which is about 15 minutes away. There's swing sets and slides, so you have kids, kind of swinging. You have people sitting on their blankets. There's horses grazing in the pasture, and there's mountains or cows in the pens there, right? And so It's really cool dichotomy of like cows mooing and music playing and horses grazing and kids screaming, and it's kind of personifies what's so cool about sort of Summit County and Park City, right? So that's really cool. We do another series at New Park, the New Park Concert Series, another big one. Again, it's kind of in this shopping area where there's an amphitheater carved out in the middle of it. People are eating food at the pizzeria and the restaurant next door. There's the Swanner Nature Preserve right next door to it. So you see these geese flying and you hear the ducks quacking. We activate City Park here in Park City, which is again a really cool venue. It's a bandstand located in historic City Park. We do Noches de Verano, which is a Latino concert series. We do jazz in the park. We do Beethoven in the park. So, that's another thing that makes what we do so cool, is that it's multiple genres, right? Multiple. And we like to, we consider ourselves a wellness organization, really, when you break it down, because we believe music is such an important element of bringing the community together and providing wellness for it. So, it's really important to us to shine a light on the cultural significance of music, right? So we feature diverse sets of genres within our programming.
Perfect. All right. You've given the listener a lot to think about. I think people already are familiar with your area, so that's cool. Couple of fun questions here. First, before we do that, let's take care of one more last business. How do they find out more information about what's going on there? Website, social media, what's your best avenue?
It is mountaintownmusic.org. So www.mountaintownmusic.org. We're on Instagram at mountaintownmusic. We are on Twitter at mountaintownmusic and Facebook mountaintownmusic. So we're on, I think we're even on TikTok. You can find us on TikTok if that's your jam.
Absolutely. Okay. Couple of fun questions. I'm in live music and live entertainment. We travel all over the country. I love this next question because it kind of gives me just a taste from everybody across the country. I want to know, what's the best concert you've ever been to your entire life?
Me personally, like that I've
Yep.
attended.
Yep.
The
You've
best
attended.
the best concert that I ever attended was Ween. So I went to see the band Ween after they'd been broken up for, I think, 5 or 6 years. And I don't know if you know too much about Ween, but they were childhood buddies back in Pennsylvania. So they grew up together, and then, they partied a lot, and one became sober, and then the culture of live touring wasn't their jam anymore. And so they broke up, right? And so I went back to their first show after not playing for 6 or 7 years. And they're kind of a cult band, and it was in Broomfield, Colorado. So my buddy from New York and I flew to see this first show, and the ovation that they got at the beginning of the show from the crowd, right? And the unconditional joy that two of them showed on the stage, right? These two buddies, right? That just got into music because they were best pals, right? And it grew into something that they never expected it to grow into. But seeing the joy on their faces as they experienced this probably 5-minute standing ovation was the most beautiful musical moment that I've ever seen. And then that particular emotion flowed through the entirety of the show, and they just laid it all on after not playing together for 7 years. It was a transcendental moment, live music moment, and it encompassed everything: community, joy, music. It was family. It was everything, man. It was probably the most
That's
special
very cool.
moment I ever spent.
All right. Dead or alive, you get to see one musical act, artist, or band. Who would you want to see, dead or alive?
Tom Waits.
Oh, that was quick. Yeah.
He's on my bucket list. He doesn't perform. I don't think he performs at all anymore. Again, sort of an iconic figure that runs the gamut of genres and storytelling and all of that. And I say, so if I could see anybody, I would want to see Tom Waits.
There's an answer we've never heard. I love that. I love those 2 questions. Brian, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Peace.
Well, baby, I'm on it with the